New poll spelling bad news for both President Biden and former President Trump.
A majority of voters in New York State believe neither candidate is fit to serve another 4 years.
All right, Fox 5 Sharon Crowley joins us now in studio. And Sharon, despite these results, a Biden-Trump rematch looking more and more likely by the day.
Yeah, it sure is, especially with these new poll numbers. Now, this poll is also revealing that New Yorkers, Democrats and Republicans say they are concerned about another match-off between Biden and Trump. One factor rising to the top of the list of concerns is the age of the candidates.
President Biden addressing the UN General Assembly here just as a new poll shows his popularity among New Yorkers is slipping. The Siena poll shows 6 in 10 New Yorkers believe Biden is not fit to serve another 4-year term as president. Registered Republicans here in New York were also polled, and former President Trump is facing equally low rankings.
62% of New Yorkers don't think Joe Biden is fit to serve a 4-year term as president. 60% of New Yorkers don't think Donald Trump is fit to serve a 4-year term as president, and 34% of voters say neither of you.
Stephen Greenberg is a Siena College pollster.
The numbers in this poll this month are not great for Democrats. They weren't great for Democrats last month either. The good news for Joe Biden in this poll is that back in August, he only had a 13-point lead in a head-to-head matchup against former President Trump. But this month, Biden has expanded his lead to 21 points.
The pollsters did not ask voters why they felt the way they do about Trump and Biden, but other polls have suggested age is a factor concerning voters.
We have to take every poll with some caution. I think that reflects a concern probably primarily about Biden's age, which is, I mean, at 80 years old, would be 82 shortly after the 2024 election. There's a concern, I think, about no matter what Biden does or the White House does, I think that age level, that age raises a concern, more so for the president than for members of Congress.
Dr. Mina Bose is the executive dean and director of presidential studies at Hofstra. She thinks President Biden should ignore what he can't change and stay focused on issues to sway New York voters.
He needs to focus on governance, really, to demonstrate that he is capable of that his abilities to govern are not in question.
Well, New Yorkers were also asked about their feelings about whether Republicans should move forward with an impeachment inquiry of President Biden over his son Hunter's business dealings. A slim majority of those who were asked about it approve of it. The first hearing looking into that issue will take place next week. Natasha?
All right, Sharon, thank you.